Well, today I'm starting off in Welch, Minnesota. If you remember, a couple weeks back I made a video of the Milwaukee Road going through Welch, and today I'm making one of the Milwaukee Road going through Cannon Falls, Minnesota. So I'm going to head down Welch Trail. It's off of County 7 here in Welch, and I'm going to see what we can find on our way to Cannon Falls. Well, I'm up the road a little ways from Welch, and I see this knoll running alongside the highway, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that the railroad came through here before it crosses the road. Somewhere up this direction, it's going to cross the road. And I think I'm still in the same area where the railroad ran before it crossed the road. Now I'm looking there, I can definitely see some kind of a knoll there where this is cut out. And I can see one right over there. Well, I'm at a spot here where it says, according to my maps, that the railroad was running along the river here as it was coming in to this other area I'm heading for. So I kind of think this is the railroad bed going out that way. Out that way. Now that knoll's heading this way, railroad bed, and it stops, and this whole area here has been cut out. There's a culvert down there, so but I can see where that knoll is there, and then it picks up again over there, and then, well, that runs maybe 35 feet parallel with this road right now in that direction. So today you can see I have my helper with, and we have internet out here on the phone for a change, and she's looking at the 1914 plat map of Goodhue County. So we're following that set of railroad tracks from the map that brings us to where we find this stuff. Want to say hello, Diane?
Hello.
So from where I'm standing at now, that road kind of takes a few jogs and winds up in Welch in that direction, and somewhere down that way there was a bridge that crossed the Cannon River for your vehicles, your horse and buggies or your old cars, whatever you want to say. And the railroad tracks and this road had to share this space, so this road was probably a lot less in width. And I think in the direction we're looking, the railroad was probably on the left. And then I'll swing around. And as it comes into this area, it's making a turn. And it's crossing the road. And the road to the right over there takes a series of turns and jogs and brings you into Cannon Falls. So here's the Cannon River right here. And this shows on my old plot that it's going to go and hug this turn on the river. So we'll go up to that area there. That's the approach to an old trestle that the Milwaukee Road crossed that creek on. So I'm at the end of this approach looking across the creek. And what do you see over there? That's right. That's some old upright timber there that was used to support some kind of trestle that went from where I'm standing across that creek. And to take note, on the other side of that creek is Meeseville Park. This is the south end of Meesville Park, where the Milwaukee Road once went through the park. Well, not through the park, because the park wasn't there then. So I found this little trail It's bringing me down here by the river. So I'm gonna get right in the middle here. And that's the Cannon River. And this is what I believe to be the railroad bed as it's coming in and making a turn. Crossing this creek area. So I believe those poles are what held up the bridge. There had to be a bridge of some kind back then. So that's where we were. And this is that knoll on the other side of that spot I was showing you. And it's making its way on a curve. Coming out this way. There's some electric poles there. And it's making a bend and it's running out that way. And I'll go see if I can pick it up. So that berm there is coming from where that old trestle was, where I showed you the remnants of it. And it's trying to make a bend. And it's going to go down in that direction right there. Right down that hole. All right. I'm a little bit further down. And I'm going to say this is the old Milwaukee Road tracks. Chicago, Milwaukee St Paul Railroad. That's what it was when this was first built. And you can see this low land here. You see when the Cannon River, that's out there, oh, maybe 200 feet from where I'm standing. You can see how high up this is built, because this area would have flooded when the Cannon River floods. Yeah. So, county must have made this a trail. So if you ever come down to the Meeseville Park and you walk down this trail, you're on the old Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad bed. That's pretty cool history, hey? Kind of history I love. So this is the Sanborn insurance map from 1938. Cannon Falls says it's located 4 miles northeast outside of the corporate limits. And this is the Mineral Springs Sanitarium. And this is our railroad up here. This is the Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Paul, and Pacific Railroad at this time. This is the main line. Out this way goes to Cannon Falls. Out this way here goes to Ravine Park, through Ravine Park and Welch and out towards Red Wing. Here's your spur coming in here. This is a coal shed. Right in here is a coal shed, and this is a boiler room. And there's a tunnel here. So in the earlier years, this tunnel was used to get the coal down to the nurses' home so they could heat the nurses' home, and it went into the main building. I don't know if it was carried through the basement to the annexed building when it was built, or if there was a series of boilers in here that heated all the buildings at that time. But that kind of gives you an idea how all this all worked together and how the railroad played into this. So I'm not going to walk too far back here because this is a private area and there's homes back here now, and I don't want to bother anyone, but I found this berm. It kind of resembles an old railroad bed, and I'm following the road here, and I'm just videoing in, and boy, I'm thinking that's part of the railroad bed. I'm thinking back now to when I was looking at the maps at home, and this has got to be the area where the railroad came in from Welch. This is another section. You can see how it's built up here. And on the other side, it starts going back downhill. And goes down that way. That's the way I was coming from. And I think that's the old railroad bed. So right in that area is where I think the railroad came through. Going to the left is where I was looking at those berms. And this is coming into the area where the sanitarium was. Sanitarium was on a higher part of the ground and then on the what I would call the backside, but that's the riverfront. They would have had a series of steps to go down the hill that it was on and to the river. So yeah, I'm in the area, that's for sure. This is my favorite picture of the sanitarium. Check out this railroad crossing sign. Follow the tracks. Right there you can see some tracks on the side of these two old cars. I'm thinking probably 1920s, maybe mid-20s. And the track goes out this way. I can't hold this cursor straight, but that's the railroad tracks. That clump of grass you see there, that's where the tracks are going out. And this is going out towards Cannon Falls. This is going out towards Welch. Now this one goes way back. I'm thinking to when the sanitarium was near first built. You can see that there's some piles of dirt over here, and the ground looks kind of rough, and here it's kind of rough. I don't know, there's something going on here. There's some kind of a ramp or something at this time. And this is the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul now. And you can see the main line coming through here and the spur. Or I think actually this was a siding at this time. Let's see if I can get that in closer. There you go. There's that coal car. It's a pretty nice picture, isn't it? And there's a little bit more going on here too. There's it looks like there's some horses there. I'm not sure what they're doing, if they're plowing or leveling the ground. I'm not positive. And if we look on the other side, I think the river is down in here. And I think this is the other side of the river. It looks like kind of a road, or I couldn't tell what it was at this point, but when I move over the map to the other side, blow it up just a little more, I can see what looks to be boxcars or something back here. So that could be the Chicago Great Western Railway on the other side of the river, because that ran right along the river on the other side of where this is. And I can see a little water or something back here, but you just can't make everything out real clear. But I wanted to show you this because it is an awesome photo. Now this boxcar says Frisco on it. I don't know if the boxcar was left there while they were servicing the sanitarium, or if they actually delivered more goods through boxcars. I wouldn't be able to say, but this is at the sanitarium, and I believe the corner of this building is probably the old coal and boiler room. I'm thinking that's where we're at in this photo. And if we look across here, we'll see a parking area, and we'll see the superintendent's home. So you can see the superintendent's home wasn't far off from the sanitarium. And this home survived. That's private property. It's another great photo. Okay, this is a Cannon Falls sanitarium postcard. So I just wanted to show this because this is later on in years. I'm looking at these cars. If I blow this up a little bit, let's see if we can do that. It looks like these cars are probably from the 1950s. So I'm going to say maybe early to mid 50s is when this was probably taken. And it does show several things. This is the road going into the sanitarium. Here's the driveway that goes up to the superintendent's home. His home is just out of sight here in this photo. And in reference to the parking lot and the complex. And then you can see here is the coal depot and boiler room. And out here, that was the railroad tracks. At this time, the railroad tracks have already been taken out. So they're gone. But I wanted to make reference to this. When we looked at the Sanborn maps, this is the tunnel that they're talking about. And you can see it goes all the way up here to this main building. And then if we put it in the center, it's like right underneath this sidewalk is where that went into this building. And these buildings were heated with coal at one time, so that's kind of cool. Okay, and the last one I have down here is our Milwaukee Road. That's right. That's what that train is, that old locomotive. Isn't that nice? Yep, I'm not sure the year here, but if you're one that can date this car, you'll probably get pretty close. I'm thinking this is probably the very late 20s or early 30s looking at this car, but I'm not sure. So if you can chime in, feel free. So we're looking at a box car back here, and this looks like an old caboose to me. And then this is the tender and the locomotive. And you can see the steam and smoke coming out of this stack because it's really a cold day, winter in Minnesota. And we can see a fellow up here on the roof of this car, and it looks like he had been cleaning it off because this one here is pretty clean now. And this section's clean, but this has still got snow on it. So I'm thinking that's what they're doing. And the title of this picture was Stuck in the Snow. So must have been after a pretty good snowstorm. And this picture is taken, of course, from the sanitarium going out, away from the building. So this is another Sanborn insurance map. It's a 1905 of Cannon Falls. I'll make a couple of quick notes. This railroad that you see here is the Chicago Great Western Railway that came in from Red Wing and went out of town to the north and then turned west. This is a spur here that goes out this way, and that spur is gone except for just a few tracks. And if you were to look right over here in this corner, that's where the depot is that you see on the Cannon Valley Trail, because that's what this was, or that's what this is now. And if you look kitty corner, there's a little building there. It's a old coal shed. And right behind that coal shed is some tracks with some trees growing through it and everything. And, don't rush over there now because this is all privately owned property and you'd need permission to go and be on that property. And a couple of years back, I did make a video of this, of the depot and this coal shed. So I'll link that to the end of this video if you're interested in that. On the north side of the river, this is the Milwaukee Road. This is the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad at this time. And it's coming in from Mineral Springs. Mineral Springs and Welch is out this direction, going to Red Wing. You can see the main line coming through, and you can see a siding here on the other side. And then you can see it winding up and heading north, and then it cuts west over the river. And then it has a spur that's going out here to this area, and this area here is the Goodhue Mills. This is where the Goodhue roller mills were, and we'll reference that a little bit later. This, if you were to carry through these lines, this is your Milwaukee Road again, the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad. This is your main line running across here, and this is your siding on this side. Here's the depot. The depot shows the passenger depot on the right and the freight on the left. Here's a water tower for our old locomotives and a well. And across this siding is a grain elevator, R.E. Jones and Company at this time. And then if you look a little further down, you'll see a stock shipping yard. Well, here's what we've been searching for. This is the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad Depot in Cannon Falls. This is really a nice picture. So we've got the main line out in front here running this way. Here it'd be going out towards Welch. This is actually going down towards it's going out towards Northfield at this time. And then the siding over on the other side winds up going into the old roller mills. And we can see the boxcar here. On the other side, we can see boxcars. We can see to the map the way they told us it was going to be. This is the freight room. This is the passenger area. Here's our water tower to fill our locomotives. There must have been a coal shed somewhere, but I'm not sure exactly where that was. Here's the windmill. Here's that grain mill that we saw. It's got a different name on it, of course, so I can't tell if what came first. We probably have to do a little more research. And then we see this building back here, and I'm thinking that was that stockyard building. You know, I'm not sure, but that could be it. So this is just a grand picture, but we need to tell these people they need to clean up this mess. Yeah, I don't know what that mess is all about. And you can see some boxes here, shipping boxes. So it's just a great picture of our history that's gone. Okay, this is the last map I'm going to show you. These two lines here go back up towards the Milwaukee Road Depot that's out in this direction here. And they come in here, and this is the Goodhue Mill Company, Goodhue Roller Mills. And it's dead ends out here on this end. But I want you to take note of this building particularly. I have a photo I'll show you. There's two Milwaukee Road boxcars sitting on the tracks right about here on this building. And then right in here is a group of people. I think they're probably employees taking an employee picture of some kind. And it's just an awesome photo. It's just great history. And then I'll just raise this up a little bit. If you were to take this road, this is the road that goes down past the fairgrounds. And just over the river, there is a nature area here now. And if you went into that nature area and walked down to the river, this dam is no longer there, but you can see the remnants of the dam at the shoreline right in this area here. And that's pretty cool. Okay, this photo is the Goodhue, okay, this photo is the Goodhue roller mill. And this would be the road that goes out in front of your fairgrounds. If you were to follow it through there, the fairgrounds would be on this side of the road back there. And this is the area of the building where those men were standing in the photo I'm talking about. And then the railroad cars were back here, and you can kind of make out the tracks a little bit coming across here. I just thought this was a cool picture, and it's railroad related. Okay, so we know we're going back to the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul period because there's the boxcars. And here's that section of the building that I was talking about in the map. And here's all your employees. At least I believe that's what they are, our employees. It's pretty cool. The Proud Bunch, eh? Yeah, we can see a couple of horses and a wagon back behind them. Here's another wagon and some horses. So I'm thinking this is a pretty early picture. Just pretty early. I just love this old history. And this is, hey, this is Milwaukee Road. Get the camera on. Okay. Why don't you wave at me? I'll see you later. Thanks for all your help.